because African theater, inside African theater, you have dance, you have singing, you have acrobatic people. They can do acrobatic inside.
Text.
They can do text, they can do poem to tell one story. So all these things are combined to tell a story, you see? And in contemporary dance, it is like that. It's actually whatever in the contemporary is very free. You can do traditional dance, you can do music, you can do, nowadays people they even use poems. You can do a lot of things in contemporary dance.
Great to meet you here on Zoom. I'm Rachel and Ian.
Nice to meet you
Nice
too.
to meet you too.
And you're all the way in Africa, in Tanzania.
Yeah, we're in Dar es Salaam.
Wow,
City.
wonderful. It's so amazing that we can speak to each other now from all over the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. We used a lot of Zoom during the pandemic, so
I know.
we kind of all got used to it, perhaps too much.
Exactly, yeah. But tell me, were you both born there?
I was born here.
Okay.
Me too.
And all of us were born here, but she grew up outside of here. Yes.
Okay, where did you grow up, Rachel?
So I was born in Dar es Salaam, and then we moved to the US for 4 years. I'm born to a British mother, Tanzanian father.
Okay.
And then we moved to the US. And then after that, we went to Geneva, Switzerland. So that's where I spent the longest amount of time. I did go to university in the UK for 3 years, but basically our base was Geneva, Switzerland. But I've been back in Tanzania now since 2001.
Okay, so what took you back to Tanzania?
Oh, just to get to know the country better, curiosity, I guess. We used to come a lot as kids. My dad was quite keen to keep that connection. So every 2 years we used to come. And I actually didn't know Dar es Salaam that well because we used to go to his village. He's from a place called Marango in Kilimanjaro. So sometimes we used to fly to Nairobi and then by road we used to go to the village. So we never actually came to the coast.
Oh, I see.
Until we were older, yeah.
And how was it for you, these different worlds?
Oh, yeah. It's
America and Africa.
Different.
Yeah.
It's really different. I think it's interesting to see a country developing and changing so much. And I think it's very real here. I think when you live in Geneva, everything works. You take a lot of things for granted. And then when you're here, you realize how important it is to have clean water, to have power, to have, a good health system. And it's getting better and better and better and better to actually educate your population, to have schools, to have teachers. I mean, you really feel it. And it's things, I never thought about before because they're just there. And everything works. You don't need to think about it. So it's reality.
I'm from South Africa, so I can understand. I understand what you're talking about. It's some things that you take for granted when you live here in Europe. But tell me, Ian, and so was this a love story?
Say again?
Is this a love story? The both of you. Where did you meet?
Two of us.
Yes. We're married.
Yeah. This is what I'm asking. What is the love story?
We met here now, but long time ago.
At my gallery.
She used to have a gallery. So sometimes I used to go there and try to buy stuff with my friends, and then we see each other from there, and then we start to know each other up to now.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But you're the dancer.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah.
And how did you start dancing? At what age did you start dancing?
I started to dance a long time. Sometimes I don't even remember because I started when I was very little.
Yeah.
Because my mom, she's also an artist. She's acrobat. So
Okay.
most of time when she go to work those days, she used to carry me and go with me and live with artists. And she go work for acrobatic and art. So the time my good friends, they were artists. So what was in front of me, it was dance, music. So that's when I started. I started to learn it. And then this style, what was it? Was robot came in, so we were in the robot style, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
break dance, and then and then my mom, because she worked for the government, she told me that if you want to be a good artist, you should go to school. And then at the beginning, so we argue a little bit, and then I say, okay, I want to see the school for dance because I've never seen one before. I say, okay. And my mom, she said, okay, I'll take you. So she took me to Bagamoyo College of Art. And yeah, actually, I really liked the place. And then that's when I also started to learn the traditional dances, how to do modern dances, and then how to know this dance world, actually. Yeah.
So where was this academy?
In Bagamoyo, Tanzania.
Okay, so there is
Yeah.
a huge, there is an art, sort of an art academy there.
Yeah, it is actually, it used to be the biggest in Eastern Central Africa. I don't know now if we're still the biggest.
It used it's the first and still the only art college of Tanzania.
Yeah.
So that was set up at independence by our first president, Nyerere. And it was very intentional because he wanted Tanzanians to start to connect with their own culture. Because under colonialism, we weren't allowed to sing our own songs or dance our own dances, and other things, like we weren't allowed to drink coffee. It was only a cash crop. So he wanted Tanzanians to connect to the rest of the world based on their own culture and just renew a sense of confidence in our way of doing things. So yeah, he was very instrumental in setting up that college.
Yeah.
He also set up music and dance in the national curriculum. So every primary and secondary school. So if you're in Morogoro region, you learned the songs and dances of that area, or in the South, wherever you were.
Amazing.
And then they had intra-school competitions as well.
Wow.
Between primary schools, between secondary schools. So it was very, very strong. And it was really part of the development agenda of Tanzania.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in the 90s, maybe to give you a bit of background, it was, we had a minister of education who decided to favor science. So all that was removed, the budget was removed. I mean, Ian went to the Bagamoyo College of Art at a really good time. It was highly subsidized, really good trainers. There were people coming from Malawi, Mozambique,
all over Africa.
all over Africa coming to train there. And then all of that stopped. Until like last year, our first female president, she reinstated art and sports in every single primary and secondary school in the country, together with a budget.
Okay.
So she's revived, all the classes and all these inter-school competitions, which is great because they come knocking at our door, asking us to help them, and can you provide us with teachers?
Yeah.
So it's a good thing, but it's been very hard for the arts since the mid-90s, really difficult.
But how wonderful that that happened, because it's when you speak to people, when you speak to artists, you realize it's from a very young age that they got inspired to start doing art, and sometimes it was because of a teacher or because of something they heard or something they seen. And it seems to be, and you talk to artists now in the UK, and they're talking about the government taking away the funding for art in the schools. And how backward is that? You know, you would think it should be there, and it should be a normal thing. But how wonderful that you can now say that it's back in your schools. The art education is back in the schools.
Yeah, I think it was UK government. They'll regret it in the future because we are regretting now by removing all the arts because we actually get lost somewhere. You know, when you don't have arts, by thinking you might imagine like arts is a very simple thing. Art is just dancing. Art is just for fun. But actual art is really coming down your society. You know, from the mental issues, what is really take everything down. And we experienced that because we didn't have arts in our primary school because this guy removed everything. And then our society changed. And then we were doing all the stuff from outside. We were copying dresses, copying everything, copying. We didn't have our own. And then we discover, oh, we really get lost now. We have to go back. So we're going back, although our arts is already damaged. There's a big damage. To rebuild it, we need, I think, a decade again, or maybe 20 years to rebuild it. Because it's a big damage. Our generation now, they're like American, they're like Chinese, they're like whatever they know is outside the country because we don't have an example, a vivid example in front of them. Example for them is TV, television, and what they see outside. So I think even the UK government, they'll feel this after 5 years. I hope they'll be ready before it's big damage.
No, that's true. And you know, it gives children also a sense of purpose when they start doing some form of art. And you hear that also when you speak to children coming from less privileged backgrounds where they say we started singing in the choir and that suddenly gave us a purpose, or it gave, you know, it took them out of the streets and in a positive community.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at the background of our students, I mean, we have several who are former street kids, a lot of school dropouts, primary, secondary school.
And actually, arts is like a savior. You know, those guys who didn't go to those university, whereby they could pay a lot of money, you can just use your talent and you can be someone. You see? But if you don't have parents to take care or pay your college, and then you're finished. But in art, you don't need someone to pay for you. People will follow you because you're a good artist. People will find you and put you there. You see? So art is really serving a lot of society. And there's a lot of people who are talented. And then these guys, they'll just die without practice their arts. And then at the end, they become bandits, they become thieves, they become whatever. You see, so when you have arts, then they see themselves, I have purpose to live. I have something so that I can live for. But if you have nothing to live for, you can be anyone, you can be whatever. Yeah, because you have no purpose. You don't have no purpose. You don't care if you to kill people, someone asks you to kill people, you just go and kill people. But if you have purpose, you say, I'll destroy my art. I don't want to go to prison because I still want to do my art. I don't want to do this because I still want to do this. See, so you are blocked in a safe place.
Yeah,
you're
that's
inside.
true. And but how did you start? Because your school is called, is it Muda Africa?
Yeah.
How did we start it was the question.
Yeah.
Well, it actually first started with a company. So Ian was part of the very first Tanzanian contemporary dance company. And you registered, I think, in 2007. So a lot of them had been working in South Africa, in Mozambique, in Malawi, in Russia, and Sweden, all over the world. And they came back to Tanzania and wanted to bring more awareness to this art form, contemporary dance. So they started a festival. in 2007, and I saw the very first edition.
Yeah.
I think there was like 20 people in the room, and I was one of them.
Very little people.
Yeah. And then the next year I joined. That's when I met you, and I joined the team, and I helped in fundraising and getting more funds. And we started having an annual festival, so bringing in choreographers to train Tanzanian dancers and to create pieces to put on stage.
But
and then
Rachel, sorry, what made you interested? You know, what made you want to help with the fundraising there?
One minute, I'm just saying I have flu, so I need to blow my nose and come back.
Yeah, you know, it's flu today. Sorry. Actually, I was in contemporary art, so I had a visual art, contemporary visual art gallery in Dar es Salaam.
Okay.
And so they came knocking on my door and said, well, they were interested in the gallery. I'd seen them come several times because we were also in contemporary art. And then they said, you know, we need help. I'd done a few festivals with handicraft, and they asked if I would help them to fundraise because I'd done that before. And help in dance. I actually knew nothing about dance, contemporary dance at all. And I remember you came with a computer and you showed me some pieces, and I thought, oh, this is interesting. So that's kind of how it started. They just came knocking at the door.
Yeah, because we actually wanted to concentrate with the creation, and we need someone to maybe to look for funds and what, because it's difficult to do both. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not a dancer, so I can't do that bit.
Yeah.
So it kind of works out well. So yeah, we were fundraising for the festival, and you know, every time we did an evaluation at the end with all the guests who'd come, they would always tell us, you know, we love to come, but we're very limited in what we can do because your dancers are not trained, or they have, you know, limited training.
Yeah.
So also it limits the choreography. And so then, and I mean, we kind of knew that, but, you know, it's really reinforced by everybody telling us every single year the same thing. So we started writing a concept for a school, and we started looking for money. And eventually in 2013, we got our first support from the European Union. So they gave us a 3-year grant. And that's where we started with like the basics. We built a sprung wooden floor. So we built a safe rehearsal space because there was nowhere. Everywhere it's just concrete or tiles, which is super dangerous if you want to have a long-term career. And then we started with Ian training and some from your dance company came to train, and started writing a 3-year curriculum, and then started training of trainers to expand the group of people can actually teach. Yeah, and that's how we started off. And we were part of a artist collaborative called Nafasi, which also got their first grant from the EU and still exists today. So it's predominantly visual art and with a few kind of performing art groups, and we were one of them. And now, you know, what is it, 11 years later, we now have our own space. We have our own plot of land where we've built, you know, a large rehearsal space, which can also be a performance space, and then 2 indoor studios and an office. We have a computer room, or resource room, we like to call it, because we don't just teach dance, but we also teach arts management. So we teach, it's a very, very important part, because the aim is to get them employed within the creative industries anywhere in the world. So
but how forward thinking is that? Because that's many artists talk about this, you know, it's like you do the art form, or you study the art form, but you don't necessarily study the business side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you really need to. So, and things like, how do you manage your social media, how to write a CV, how to write a bio, how to apply for a job, how to do a video editing, you know, they learn Illustrator, InDesign, how to make their own posters, how to set up WhatsApp groups, how to market, all that. And also budgeting is very important.
How to search for festivals,
Yes, how to network. So all
So
that is
we-
part of the training. It's a very important part of the training.
So
And
you
I think
say,
we did this. We did this because all the time when we work with dance pieces, we perform once and then we dump it. Next year we make another one. So we discover there's an art management missing here, because other places, people, they make one performance, they perform 100 times before they're making
yeah.
a new one. But for us, we just do once and then done. And that's when we came up with this. We need to teach them how to search for festivals, platforms, sell your piece through social medias. So that's where it came.
but that's wonderful. And also, is it a boarding school or is it somewhere that they come every day after their school, after their formal school, or is this a college education?
Yeah, it's more like a college of arts, for
Okay.
dance. So they're between 18 and 25 when they start,
Okay.
and they come full time.
Okay.
So it's usually like, it's not boarding. They come daily. And it's usually like 7 hours a day. So they do dance and arts management.
English.
Yeah, we also have English language training.
Really?
Yeah, because most of them just speak Swahili.
Oh, okay. So Swahili is the language there.
It's the national language.
National language.
You start learning English here from secondary school.
Okay.
But if you've just done 1 or 2 years, I mean, the highest we've had is 4 years of secondary. Although since last year, we have some university graduates who've come to join the school, because we're a very, very practical, hands-on school. So as you're learning, we also get them little jobs, so they're like last week they performed, there was this Nordic week, there was
Swedish Embassy.
Yeah, Swedish Embassy event.
Yeah, right.
There was something at the Goethe Cultural Center. They did a flash mob for the French school. So they get all these little jobs along the way. Last year was phenomenal. We did the opening of the Africa Football League. So this was all of our dancers, all of our alumni. We had like 250 dancers. It was a mass choreography, which Ian got to work on with
But that's
with a group from
amazing.
Dubai. Yes.
Yeah. So from the start, they get the opportunity to see how it works, how to get the jobs, and doing the jobs then.
Yeah, and actually to experience how it works, because sometimes we tell them you have to set your mats, you have to set your lights, you have to take care of your costume, you have to take care of your props, everything. So they have to be aware. And we always tell them, this is how it's happening out there. When you get out of this school, this is normal life. You live like this. So you have to be ready for this.
How to apply for visas. A lot of them have traveled. I think if we did a survey, actually we do an annual survey with our alumni to kind of look at the impact and what's happening, and they give us really good feedback. Also for our curriculum every year, telling us, there's jobs here, you should be teaching this, add more drumming, things like that.
Wow.
So our alumni, one of the things is like, teach everybody how to do visa applications, because they're long and tedious.
Yeah.
So
So
you
they-
have to get them
so
to
they
sit
go
down and
out-
fill in these forms. Really practical stuff.
Yeah, so they go out in the world. I mean, they don't stay just there in Africa. They go out.
They performed all over. I think
Amazing.
across 4 continents now.
Yeah.
Asia, Africa, Europe, North America.
Wow.
Yeah.
And your school must have then a good name for people to, when they audition somewhere and they say it's the Muda Africa, then people acknowledge that, your education.
Yeah, I think
The government doesn't.
government.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the government now, no, they know us.
They know us, but
They even invited us today for the meeting.
yeah.
But no money. They don't give you money. They
And
don't support you.
no official certification either.
Yeah.
But they do know us and they know the job that we're doing.
But the private sectors, they really know us. Because everywhere you go, when there's a dancer,
A dance event.
if there's 3 dancers, 2 are coming from our center.
Really?
If there's 10 dancers, 6 are coming from our center. Either they are our alumni or the current students. Yeah,
So
so
how many-
for dancing, actually everyone knows us very well. Yeah.
So how many students do you have there?
We have a budget for 30 students at any one time.
Okay.
But,
And
So
they
that's maximum.
are they all sponsored or do they have to pay themselves?
So that's what, yeah. So we have scholarships. So we
Okay.
support them with transport to the school and back home, plus 1 meal a day and drinking water.
Okay.
And then also some of them, you know, they'll get invited to a certain festival, like in Uganda. And so the festival might pay for their transport and their fee, but they, you know, won't pay for their costumes or
Oh, yeah.
something. So we help depending on how much we have in little areas to try and get them out there and participating in events.
Yeah. And are you dependent on sponsorships yourself?
Yes.
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 Mm.
So yeah, that's kind of my job. We look for grants constantly, but now that we have a center, we have other revenues which are now possible. So when we're not using our studios, we rent it out. Some people rent out our performance space, either to perform or other private, you know, events like birthday parties,
Wedding.
send-offs, weddings. So wherever we can make an income from our space, we do that.
So you seem to be a good businesswoman.
She is, yes, she is. That's why we approached her.
I
Yeah.
have to be a better businesswoman.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then, you know, we also, you know, we get people also to help us. We have a fantastic board, and the aim of the board is like, you know, share your contacts with us. And they help us to get in the door to certain places. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the
So
students that you have,
networking is very key.
okay, the students that you have there are, so they have to audition. Do you take them in on a certain standard, or do they come in without any other dance background?
They do have.
Actually, we do audition, and what we looking for them, it is actually the drive which they have into dance. You know, sometimes you can have a very good dancers, but they will last 2 months, gone, they will disappear. But and you can have people with less techniques, but they'll be with you for 3 years. So that's what we're looking actually. So we want someone who really wants to dance, and then we have teachers, they can push them far. But we always avoid these guys who are coming that they are ready and then they're coming to our school as if it is employment. Some of them, they get it wrong. They thought it's employment, so you have to pay them and what? Say, no, we are teaching you. Actually, you're supposed to pay us, but we give you fund. This fund is not a payment, it's to help you. Transportation and food, and we're not paying you. So this is not a job. So when you tell them it's not a job, they'll run away because they think they're good enough. But those ones who have small skills, but you can see, you can teach them, they are very trainable. We pick them, and then always they become the best dancers, better than even the one who came, looks like, because, we like, it's like a molding. We mold them slowly. After 3 years, good dancers, you see some of them, they have their companies, some now they have their own festivals, some of them now, they have their own studios. So it's a lot of things happening after training them. But actually, we're looking for the drive, not like techniques or what. Techniques we'll give them.
And it's quite a long audition that you give, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like over 2 months because there's other things like attendance. So there are other factors. I mean, again, it comes to discipline.
Yeah.
You know, if they miss their 80% attendance, then they're automatically out of the audition. So yeah, there are other factors that come in.
Yeah.
And can you already see after all this time, can you spot when you know somebody is going to stay or somebody is really not going to be suited?
Yeah, because now we started the school now, it's almost 10 years since we started.
Okay.
This is
Yeah.
going to be 11 year.
Mhm.
So we know, because at the beginning we were struggling. Yeah, what is happening? And now we know all the dramas, all
Okay.
all the whatever, we know.
All the characters.
All the characters. So you see them say, this one is going to say, this one, I don't think so. But let me give him or her 2 months. And then you see. And actually, when you start to give them those hard training, like really preparing, condition, you really you run, you jump, you do stretch, you go home very tired, and then you say, okay, let's see tomorrow if they're coming. If they're coming tomorrow, say, yeah, you want it. So there's a measurement.
Right.
You go through with them, you work, you make sure that these guys today, they're finished. And then you see tomorrow. If they're coming, the next day you say, yes, let's go now.
I look to the spot, hip, back to the floor, press the hips, punch above the arm, look to the hip, look to the other hip.
Yeah, so there's certain types of classes
Yeah.
on purpose. They
Yeah.
really determine who's going to stay,
Yeah.
who's going to.
Yeah, because dance is not easy. Dance is not easy. That's difficult. You really have to work hard. So you need someone who's ready to do all those things. It's not like you come there and then you do, unless otherwise, if you do this, like we call a dancer for people from the office, we have this, we call people who are working at the bank. You can organize a small class for them so that they feel happy. It's not that. This is like a job.
Yeah.
You perform for people. It is your job, so you really have to go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, but we also train people to become teachers. So we look at it as dance practitioners. So not just a dancer, but maybe you're interested in choreography, maybe you're interested in stage management. Yeah, some are becoming light designers for dancers, some do costumes for dance, and some are teaching full time.
Yeah.
And one of our students, it's an interesting story, for example. I mean, he was a former street kid. He now earns like 2 million Tanzanian shillings a month just on teaching yoga. He has a piece of land. He's building his house. I mean, it's incredible, the change. So,
and from the street, this guy, he used to sleep at the street.
At the gas station.
Yeah, and he used to get sick every 2 weeks. He's sick. Now he has proper place to sleep, good life. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, teaching it's a good job actually. A lot of them between choreographies between being a dancer and a choreography, they often teach.
And our country now is moving from the lower economy to the middle class. Yeah, and people now they really care about their health. So if you teach yoga, you get students because everyone wants to be fit. Everyone wants to be out of this junk food. Everyone wants to live well because they have money now. You see, so for him, it was like a real way to go, and then he's getting his money. I'm happy, really happy. Yeah, because he can make like a 300 to 400 one session. That's teaching. That's like $200. See.
But that must be amazing to see what the impact is of what you're doing. You know, that you're not just making, or you're not just teaching people to be good dancers, but it's also that discipline, and it's also that life-changing skills that you give them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a youth development project we're doing. So it's really giving skills and values to young people so they can be independent, socially, economically independent of their parents, of their guardians. And in the survey that we did for 2023, 96% of our alumni are independent of their parents, which means we ask them questions like, do you have your own room? Can you pay your rent? Do you have health insurance? Can you go out? Do you have kids? Do you have a family? Do you own land? You know, things like that. We don't actually, in Tanzania, you'll never get an honest answer if you say how much to earn. But it's just looking at their lifestyle more.
Yeah.
Can you support yourself and your living expenses?
And do you have also of your students who teach younger children?
Yeah.
Yeah, primary school age, yes.
And like 2 or 3 weeks ago, our students also, they got job. Remember the job we gave them, Deo and Happy. So they're teaching like an orphanage.
Yeah.
They're very little ones, so they're teaching every Sunday. Yeah. And this is one of the things also, before finish third year, we teach them to become teachers. Because we always say that sometimes you may not have performance like every week or every month. You can have performance today, and then you have another performance in 4 months. So how are you going to live in between? So teaching can help you, because teaching, you teach every day, and you have salaries. So this can sustain you until you get to your big performance. So.
And also when they have the school competitions, because right next to our school, there's a secondary school and like 3 primary schools. There's like 5,000 students really close in our neighborhood. So then they all come knocking on our door. So we usually give sessions on Fridays to help them. Yeah, so then we get our students to give them.
Yeah.
And the community, when you do performances, are they open to come and watch? I mean, can they afford, say, to come and pay for watching?
Yeah, I mean, where we are now is quite strategic. We're in an area called Kijitonyama. So we really border the poorest area of Dar es Salaam. And we have an event which we do 3 or 4 times a year. It's called Jukwaa Huru, it's free stage, where we show contemporary dance. And you have to pay, but you can choose what you pay. So we have tickets for 2,000 shillings, 5,000 shillings, 10,000 shillings, or more if you want to make a donation. So yeah, we're very conscious that everybody earns differently, especially in the neighborhood where we are. But we want dance to be accessible to all socioeconomic groups. So so you choose your entry price.
And we have words in every price. You remember those words? I can pay. But
yes. Yeah, we try and make it a bit funny. So we say, so you recommend, it's like 2,000 shillings. Oh, I still have school fees to pay. 5,000 shillings. No, it's I love dance, but I need to get a ride home. 10,000 shillings. I love dance. I paid the school fees and I have a car. So we kind of, and every time we make it a bit different.
And seating, if you pay 2,000, you sit anywhere. If you pay 10,000, you sit anywhere. So it's the same.
And it's free for kids.
Yeah.
I see.
And so we put
that's wonderful.
Mats right at the front, and the kids all sit down at the mat. So it's free for them.
contemporary dance, is that something that the community like, or do you have to do also traditional dances?
At the beginning, when we started, because we came from Sweden and there were no contemporary dance in the country.
Mm.
And we learned it in Europe, so, and in the college.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make it also one of the platforms.
Mm.
So we started to perform this contemporary dance piece. At the beginning, it was really difficult. People that didn't understand us, they were telling us, "You're doing European dance, and then why do we have our own dance? Why you do European dance?" But we were also explaining what we're doing actually, because we were telling them this is not European dance. This is a dance where I have chance also to create, because if you look at the traditional dances, you have no space to create. It is there, and if you change it, they'll tell you no, they don't dance like that. They actually dance like this. You see, but where is my space now to show that I can also create? So we were telling them this contemporary dance, or the other name is creation dance. I have chance to bring to the society my movements. I can also contribute to the society my movements. So when we start to teach young people, they were very quick to get it, because they were really wanted also to show, but they were blocked by this traditional dance. They have no way to show off, to show their moves. But when they hear there's this dance which gives you freedom, and then they came. Now I can tell you, traditional dance is almost dying. That's why we try to keep it, because they don't want to do it. But I say, no, you have to keep it. You still have to do it. And then from this one, you move to your creation. Yeah. So now contemporary dance is really like big, and then young
it's
people.
Growing. We like to think it's big.
It is big, because many people, if you tell them that do you want to dance traditional or contemporary, they say, I want contemporary.
Inda, that's
Inda.
Inda.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're growing, and our society is start to support us, because when we see that there are people who comes and pay, and then you get like 300 audience or 400 audience, all of them paid, it means that it's growing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just to point out that in our group, all our students, they have to do a minimum of 10 traditional dances. They have to learn traditional dance.
I see.
That's often what we start off with. So our base, like in Europe, the base would be ballet. Our base is traditional dance.
Yeah.
And then from that, you teach them how to innovate and create their own movements. But it's from a base of Tanzanian traditional dances. Also, we've had Rwandese, Kenyan, kind of East African.
Yeah.
Which is quite key to make it. That's, I think, our competitive advantage is you actually start from a base of your own culture and then innovate on that. But we do show sometimes at these public events, which we have, we do sometimes start with like a 5-minute traditional dance.
Okay.
And then move on to contemporary.
African dance, we are so free. So one movement, if you're dancing like 3 or 4 dancers, you see everyone will put hands here, one will put hands here, one will put hands here.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And ballet discipline you. If the hands is here, it's here. If the hands is here, it's here. So we use ballet to discipline our dancers. When they come to contemporary dance, they have that discipline. Because some of them, they're coming from traditional dances, and that's where there's no discipline. People there, they feel it. They dance a dance with the feeling. So I can feel like this, I can feel like this, but we do the same steps, but the feeling, everyone feel differently.
Yeah.
See, so other people, they feel with the head, other people, they feel with their shoulders, you see? So you have this, and then in contemporary dance, sometimes when you want really unison, I want everyone to look exactly the same. And then when they're coming from the traditional background, it's difficult to control them. But when you put them in ballet, and then you really
Yeah, it serves
put
its
them in
purpose.
box. And then they know. When you say that hands should be here, they know hands should be here.
Yeah.
When I don't want the movement of the head, no movement of the head. So they understand you. So there'll be no feeling. It'll be
The strictness of ballet.
so
Yeah.
that's how we use ballet. And actually, we have some teachers. They come and give them ballet. It helps
Okay.
them.
Mm.
Yeah, it helps them in their dances.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
tell me how many, so you have your traditional dances, you're saying you speak Swahili, so how many different cultures are there in Tanzania?
In Tanzania, we have like 125 tribes. The whole
Really?
country. And every tribe has more than 4 dances.
Wow.
Yeah. So what we do, if you look, we split our country into like 3 parts: North, Central, and South. And if you look at the North, most of them, their dance is more like head and shoulders. You see, yeah, different patterns, but they have their key movements. And then it goes even to Central. Central, they have shoulders and head too. And then South, they have waist, and then they dance low, low, low. They go very low. You see?
Really?
Yeah. They're like Makonde tribes. You see, they really move their waist. You really have to know to move your waist. And then they use legs, a lot of legs moves. So, and you see, the southern part might have like maybe 30 tribes, but they all have this base, yeah? They all have the same base, you see? It's not very far from each other. Yeah, so that's why we split our country into like 3 main parts, like South, Central, and North. Yeah.
So you teach all 3 of those styles then for the
Yeah, I know all of them. I know all of them because we train this in Bagamoyo. You have to know. And you have to go to the places and do research. And before us, they used to go and come back with a dance and you teach everyone in the college. But during our time, there were many dances already collected, so we didn't have to go there. So we just learned from what is there. Yeah.
And do you combine also the traditional dance with contemporary dance? Do you?
Yeah, actually, we teach them traditional dance, and we say this is your base. It's like in Europe they use ballet.
Yeah.
If you see a contemporary dancer from Europe, you can see the ballet in their bodies. It's the same like here. We also train them traditional dance, and then we say that, okay, now from traditional dance, you can now scratch from traditional to contemporary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they mix, you can take movement, you can change them.
It's a free art form. That's what's nice about contemporary.
Yeah,
You don't
because you can take a traditional dance and add some moves, and no one will know this is coming from this traditional dance until you explain. You say, actually, see this move. I got it from maybe a higher traditional dance, but I add this and this and this. That's why you see it looks like this. And then it will make you also to be very unique when you go outside the country.
Yeah.
Because no one has something like that. Everyone who comes from Europe, they'll have ballet. In Africa is very, very, very big. Yeah, it's very, because every West African, you see when they do contemporary dance, because they have their own traditional dance, you see their look, their body, you see their different bodies. You come to East Africa, us, we have different bodies because our traditional dance changed us or made us to be that way. And we all meet when we do modern moves or when we do European move. But when we do a traditional, we are different. And that's why it makes us unique, actually. If you want to be unique, you need to have at least a base of your traditional. And then whatever you're gonna add in, that will be you. No one else.
But what's interesting is that actually the contemporary is preserving the traditional.
Yeah.
You can look at it that way as well.
Yeah.
As if, you know?
But I
Because
love, yeah.
like now, actually traditional dance is dying, but the only place where they still keep traditional dance are contemporary dancers, because they don't want to lose their ID. So you have to keep your traditional dance so that you have your ID with you when you go anywhere. So we are the only one who keep it, but the rest,
Okay.
there's a big shift.
And I think it's especially important for urban youth because people who grew up in the cities are far removed from traditional dance. You know, we have what we call our urban styles, our city styles, breaking and what they see online.
Yeah.
But a lot of them actually don't know anything about traditional dances from around Tanzania.
They don't know.
So I
And
think
I think it's beautiful. I love the traditional dances. I think it's, you know, it's a way of storytelling. And I was speaking to a jazz musician the other day, and his wife is a jazz dancer. And they also talking about that comes from jazz dancing, comes from the traditional African dances, you know, that's where it originated. And it's about storytelling.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And actually in Africa, we have this thing is called African theater. And African theater, if you look it carefully, it is contemporary dance now.
Really?
Yeah, because African theater, inside African theater, you have dance, you have singing, you have acrobatic people. They can do acrobatic inside.
Text.
They can do text, they can do poem to tell one story. So all these things are combined to tell a story, you see? And in contemporary dance, it is like that. It's actually, there's whatever, the contemporary is very free. You can do traditional dance, you can do music, you can do, nowadays people, they even use poems. You can do a lot of things in contemporary dance to tell a story. So for me, I always say that this contemporary dance, actually, we had this long time ago in Africa. This is how we tell our stories always. We don't tell stories in one form of art. We tell our stories with a mixed form of arts.
Yeah. It's very true.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're doing amazing work, really. It's fascinating what you're telling me. And I mean, I read about your work and so on, but I never expected it to be all this that you're telling me now. So it's wonderful. I love it. But tell me, Muda Africa, what does Muda mean?
Muda, you can explain it also. Muda is time in Swahili.
Okay.
But mu, it used to be for music. And da, it used to be for dance. And also time, from past to future.
Wow.
Past, present, future. So we, you know, from a base of traditional, you know, to innovation, to creating new movements.
Yeah.
So, you know, learning is like traditional, we call it like the wisdom of our ancestors.
Yeah.
Adding the new ideas of today to create, you know, your future movement.
Because also we believe us, if you see us, it means that there's an ancestor before us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you have your great grandfathers, great what? So this is the traditional. And then us, and then next is our creation, what we created. So always you go with your ancestors to a creation.
Yeah.
If you forget them, then you're lost. Even our first president used to say that, Mwalimu Nyerere always say that anyone who doesn't have the background you'll never know where you're going. If you don't
That's
know where you're
true.
coming from, you'll never
Yeah.
know where you're going. So if you know where you're coming from, it's actually you know exactly where you're going because you know where you're coming from. Yeah.
That's absolutely true. And what a beautiful name. I mean, it's so well thought of, really.
Yeah. We thought of it. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and I think also maybe and time, because we're called Muda Africa,
yeah.
and also it's time for Africa to
Yeah.
kind of be on the world map in terms
Yeah.
of dance and
Dance.
contemporary dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think Africa is moving far quicker than we anticipated.
Then we realize, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. And it's so interesting. I've spoken to a few dancers in South Africa, or in Africa, from Africa, and the thinking and the way that they work, and it's just amazing. I think it's wonderful. It's that spirit, that African spirit. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we've worked with many artists from South Africa, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Just last year, we worked with Tami Majela. We've worked with Musa. That's why we have a lot of connections there. Yeah.
Silo came to our festival first.
Oh yes, Dada Masilo
Dada Masilo.
actually came to the festival. She's
Really?
super famous now.
But when she came, she was very, very at the beginning.
Young and unknown.
Now we cannot even invite her.
Oh, is it?
She's big.
She's an international star.
You never know.
Yeah, maybe if she asks she wanna come, we say yes, we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we tell that we want you, she'll give you price
wow.
and pay.
Yeah, she came through a great company called
Yeah.
the Forgotten Angle Theatre Collaboration.
Yeah.
They're still operating,
Oh, I see.
still training. Yeah, we try and connect with other schools. We're actually part of a network called AMDA, Africa Mashariki Dance. It's called East African Dance, with members from Rwanda and Uganda. We're still trying to expand, where we try and write joint grant proposals. We exchange skills, especially with festivals. Like I remember they send us a photographer, we'll send them our light guy. So it's kind of to encourage the exchange of knowledge within the region. So if I don't have something in Tanzania, why not look in Kenya and Uganda or Rwanda? Because we have a tendency just to go to Europe, you know,
Asia.
Yeah.
somewhere really
How
far. Where
wonderful.
actually, if you look more closely and if we're better connected, it's also a question of sharing information.
Yeah.
You can actually find that skill within the region.
Yep.
Wonderful that you do that, really. Yeah, that you look within Africa and not outside Africa.
Yeah.
Before we look anywhere else, because if you look and if there's someone in Rwanda, then I don't need to look in
Yeah.
Europe.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
if there's nobody here, then we have to look far.
Okay, yeah.
So we start around here. Like we've been, we have this anatomy. Anatomy, we don't have enough teachers here. We always look for someone from Europe because here it's not a thing. We don't have yet like enough people who can teach. And it's important for us as dancers because you know your muscles, you know how to take care or what. So most of the time when we want to learn that, we ask for European partners to provide that. But the rest, many stuff we found, anything which we can find in East Africa, we find it here. Yeah.
The African way, I think, make a plan and sort it out.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
But tell me now, Ian and Rachel, what are the wishes for the future?
The future.
What are the wishes? Yeah, the dream.
Yeah,
The dreams,
First of all, I think we almost get there to have a lot of dancers. Because when you have many dancers, it means that the dance scene will be big.
Yeah.
Than before we used to have we were just 5 of us who came from Sweden. But now they're like...
There's hundreds.
Yeah, hundreds now. And then there's a lot of dance events here, there. Sometimes we just see, there were event, I didn't know. So there are many events. So that was our very, very first dream, but we almost reached there. And also we want our school to be big in East Africa and Central. Yeah. And also we want to have a big dance company, which we can sell our performances. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's a
think
big-
that's quite key is the dance company because we have alumni and they're doing well and
yeah.
we need to start making productions, I
Well,
think,
yeah, and
and
sell.
selling them
Yeah.
around the continent and further abroad.
Yeah.
And also we need to improve our platform too, so that we can also
Yeah,
buy performances.
Exactly.
And also we can invite people from all over the world to come and see Tanzania and also share their knowledge with our
yeah, because we find there's a tendency now for a lot of I think the world is your job platform,
yeah.
but there's a lot of dancers going to perform in Europe and abroad a lot. And it would be nice to actually have a strong East African platform where people from
Yes.
all over the world will
Yeah.
come
Come
to
here.
Dar to perform.
Yeah.
So
It's true. It's, in the same in South Africa, people, the artists go out, they go to Europe, and then it's like somebody said the other day, South Africa has got such wonderful singers, but they all go away, because they find jobs in other places. And it would be nice if they could stay and they could have their jobs there, and it's the same with you. Let your dancers be there and that they have their job there.
Yeah, the same here.
So that's why, we got to lobby the government. Also, there's certain cultural policies which make it so difficult still to bring in dancers. They have these crazy fees you have to pay. I mean, slowly that's changing.
Yeah.
But there's also, this kind of regulation and cultural regulation environment that needs to change. And we're part of these lobbying meetings to try and change that so that we can actually get more artists coming. So there's certain things on the ground that need to change in order for us to do that.
Yeah, and as you say, we need people here to. Yeah, because if you don't have good artists, always we'll be performing poor shows. Because all good artists, they'll be running to Europe.
Yeah.
But if you have good artists, so people, they also have opportunity to see beautiful and quality performances. So that's why that's one of our target too. We need to build and make our platform international, so that those that Tanzanians can see, our young generation also can see, and we can also have new dancers, new choreographers. Because like me, when I was little, I saw someone, and then I said, I want to be like him, and then I become. You see, and then even our young generation, if they see good performance, they'll also say, I want to be like that guy. And then in the future, we have
and see dancers earning and earning well. We don't want poverty reduction. We want wealth creation.
Exactly.
So we want artists to earn well.
And
people to see this as a respectable job.
And that people understand that that you can earn a salary from that. That they don't think it's something on the side or you have to do it for free because it's not worth paying for. So I think it's so important that that also the community learns that and the dancers learn that to value what they're doing.
Yeah, it is true what you say, because even our university here, they don't know that someone can have a degree of dance.
Oh,
Can you believe that?
Yeah, no, it's not even
because
there.
we had a dance company from Denmark, and when they came to us, we said that okay, let's share with the University of Dar because they're our partners. Sometimes we train them practical stuff. We exchange actually. They give us theory, we give them practical.
Oh, okay.
So we took this company there so that to show different dance, different
Wow,
people
yeah.
from different countries. And then the dancer from Black Box is called Black Box from Denmark. Everyone, when they introduce themselves, they were like, I have degree in dance, I have master in dance. And one
Really?
teacher came to me and said that, can you have dance degree or master? I said, yes. But you're a teacher here, why are you asking me? I say, for us here, dance is under theater. You cannot just, it can't be alone. You see? For them, they see dance is very small, so that's why they put under theater.
They see it as a part of theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for us, what we want now, we told them that, we even explained to them that dance now has grown. It needs to be alone.
Mhm.
Theater should be theater and dance should be dance. They don't want to accept that, and that's why they don't give us because we are supposed to give a diploma. So they don't believe that we can give diploma, dance
Really?
diploma. Where has it come from? This politician, you tell them, they'll laugh first. You want to give diploma? Or you want to give degree? I say, yes. And then they go outside, they come back and say, actually, even in Europe, they give degree and say, yeah, we told you. You don't believe us until you go to Europe.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
so
why
we're struggling.
our
We're still
alumni
struggling.
are really key because they're ambassadors of our school, really.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who help to build our reputation.
Yeah.
So that is our certification is our
Yeah.
reputation.
So we show people this is how we can make people. You see our alumni and they say, okay, you guys. But our alumni, when they go outside, they say, you guys, you have degree already, according to the level they have. But they have no papers. Yeah, because one of our alumni applied for a degree in UK. He was selected
Really?
somewhere, right? And then there are many who are applied and they're selected because
Yeah.
what they have, it can save. It can be a degree in somewhere else, but not here in our country. They don't agree with.
Not yet.
Not yet. They don't agree that a dancer can have a degree or diploma.
But that's
So waiting.
amazing, isn't it? That the standard is then so high, what you are teaching.
Yeah, we're trying our best. And also we have partners like Pantale, who really help us with the curriculum. This Pantale is a dance company from Norway. So we've been
Oh, I
working
see.
with them for
Okay.
quite a long time. So they help us a lot with the
and
curriculum.
Norway is our core supporters at the moment for 7 years now.
Really?
They've been giving us a grant every year to support the teachers, the administration, and the scholarships.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And now I forgot now what I wanted to say to you.
No problem.
I'm so amazed with everything. But
Yeah.
who is it, a school or is it a company that supports you from Norway?
It's the Norwegian embassy. So like
Oh,
the
I
Ministry of
see.
Foreign Affairs. Yeah.
Okay.
So they have a program where they support different cultural activities. And so we're one of the organizations they support.
Wow.
Yeah.
But your whole, it's amazing that we can, that you can actually, you use social media. And I mean, this is how I came across you, and your page is so interesting and beautiful. So you do everything right. I mean, you do this, you can see on there, already that you do it the right way, promoting the school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we actually get a lot. Well, we've learned also how to do that, but we do get a lot of inquiries from our social media. Yeah, it's very effective, especially our Instagram, Facebook. We get connections all the time. Actually, the person's coming in August. We have a young intern from Belgium coming. She found us also through social media.
And also,
So yeah, it's a very effective way.
And also we have students from Kenya, from Congo. They want to come and join our school. But we say our school is not boarding. And then even our government, they need to give us this accreditation, I don't know, so that we can have you guys. So they really disturb us, but we say now we are we just deal with the Tanzanians. We're not even Tanzanians. We're still in Dar es Salaam. We're still growing. But people, because of our social media, they see us, and then they really want to come. We had a student who really want to pay everything and then just come and attend our our classes, but we still don't know how to tell the government this guy they're coming here to do.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what's nice is that East Africans don't need visas, but
Yeah.
still, when you come to Tanzania, you can only stay for 3 months.
For 3 months.
Oh,
So
I
how,
see.
how do we tell
so
the
we would have
government
to get-
that this one is here for studying? Because if you come for studying, you have to go and register science to the high school, whatever. So there's a lot of
It's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah,
and
but
it's expensive.
But it's coming well. It's coming well because we have discussion with the government. Now our government now they are very close to us. They're listening, and we tell them. Although it takes time to change things,
Yeah.
but hope one day it will.
Yeah, I mean, the head of the Arts Council is new and very competent. He's called Dr. Mapana. So lots of things are changing in a good way. So,
Well,
we
I have no doubt. I have no doubt that the two of you will sort all these things out because you've come so far and you've done such amazing work that I think your wishes will come true. Your dreams will come true, definitely.
thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you ever come to Vienna?
Well, it's funny you're in Vienna because we actually had a talk last year. No, it was beginning of this
We
year.
were supposed to come this year
For
to
a
Vienna
festival.
for a festival.
Really?
July or what? I don't know. At the hills,
Alps,
at the
Alps,
mountains
dance
outside.
Alps. It's up in the mountains.
Yeah. And you
There's a
didn't
festival.
come? Or are you still coming?
Well, no, actually, they were going to come to see our event in April, but they didn't manage. They wanted us to come to them in July, but it was a bit short notice.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have the funding to take us there.
But we might come next year.
It's a new contact, and we're going to send them some videos of different dance performance, which they might like to program. So if they program, then yes.
Yes, why not?
I hope we'll come
Yes,
to
finger
Vienna.
crossed. Yes.
Yeah, we'd
But
love to.
But let me know when you're in the area. I would so love to meet you in person.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be great.
Yeah.
And if you're in Dar,
Yeah,
come and see us.
Come and
I
see
would
us.
love to come. I've never been there and I would love to come because I hear it's so beautiful there.